Hello, you're watching Gardens and Graveyards. Today we're at the Glenada Oddfellows Cemetery in Florence, Oregon, and we're going to just take a walk and see what we can find. This cemetery is maintained by an association that was established and given a nonprofit status in 2006, whereas the cemetery was established in 1895. I would imagine maintaining this cemetery is a challenge with elevation changes that are all throughout the cemetery. Mowing must be nearly impossible. I kind of wonder if they weed eat this whole space. Be interesting to give them a shout out and find out a little bit more about the cemetery. It was a rainy day, kind of cloudy, made for perfect cemetery wandering weather. It was interesting because there was nothing between the bluff I was standing on and those two markers over there, but they were all part of the same cemetery. There's a lot of elevation changes in here, really hard to show. It's dipping down, coming up, comes up, up. And you can see another little hump there. I'm kind of in a slope, but immediately I'm in a slope and this goes right up, goes up, and it's coming back down. You can see markers all along the edge right there. Makes me wonder how many are down in the ravine now. You can see big lumps. I'm not sure how much of this is green burials may cause this sort of elevation changes. I have to do a little research and find out if that's what this cemetery is about. Hit play and watch the ticker go and see if it stays on this time. This is the other side of the cemetery. So we were just up there on that hill and I found a little alcove with no obvious burials in it, but nothing was growing in it, kind of like this. It's like a little circle, like very sacred. But I went back there twice to record it and show it to you. And the recordings did not play, or they didn't show up or something, so it didn't want to be filmed, I guess. All right, those are pretty new, 2017. And then there is a road here. It looks like it just goes up to a house. Oh, the cemetery goes onto the other side of the road. Over here. I'm gonna go back and get Spencer. Okay. And it goes all the way up there. Wow. I think I could park somewhere closer. Spencer to come in. Let's go down the road here. I was reading, oh, look how sweet that looks. I was reading that there's a new cemetery association, and I didn't stop to point out because I thought I was coming back down the same way, but there's some baby pine trees and that look like salmonberry planted over in that area. So anyway, I saw that gate earlier and I thought, I wonder if that's a cemetery gate. And I think probably is. I can't tell for sure. Like trespassing on people's property. That's not ideal. I don't want to do that. Yeah, it looks like it. There's the cemetery back there. Interesting. But it is locked. So, all right, back to the car. Okay, here is the first burial of the cemetery. Just behind this beautiful wooden fence. You can see the finials have started to rot away. I don't know if the boards have been replaced. This looks like pressure treated board, which wouldn't have, obviously not original. Looks like there was a gate here. We're just gonna step inside. I'm gonna leave some flowers. We brought some tulips, double tulips and single tulips and hellebore from our garden for Penincia A. Christensen. Died September 15th, 1895. Aged 25 years, 10 months, and 20 days. She's buried in here. Looks like a family plot. There's another name on this side. Christensen Leonard M. Well, Christensen was their last name, so Leonard Christensen. February 2nd, 1856 to January 13th, 1940. Step out here. This side of the cemetery has a lot of mosquitoes, so probably make this quick. I'm also being surrounded by some other kind of loud buzzing thing. Hubble, 1927. Spencer's up there. I'm interested in this concrete foundation looking thing. Looks like it's a family plot. Oh, it's huge. It's very substantial. 1911, 1923. Who's this for? I'm not sure. Again, with crazy elevation. That's really steep up there. Slopes way down towards the road, and there's all these just I don't know, maybe from old trees, maybe from green burials. There's a baby, 1897. After reflecting on the geography of Florence, Oregon, I realized that the entire town is built on sand dunes, which is probably what was actually causing all the elevation changes in the cemetery. It's probably just a bunch of sand dunes. Oh, there's one way up there. This looks like this used to have a spire in it. Would have been like a square, sunk way down in there, and then up and upright. Like there's another little semicircle like glade at the top of what used to be the road. Up there. No, if it was just a parking lot turnaround, probably. All right. E.H. David, 1913. Has scripture, my father's house are many mansions. I'm sure it said in my father's house. Okay. going along. There's one back there. Sirius Morel Severy. Died in November of 1906 at 75 years old. Okay, we're gonna come up here and find out who this person is. Clive, son of Mr. and Mrs. Charles Ward, 1902 to 1918. Aww, young kid. Okay. Let's see. Along here, there's a bunch of little tiny markers right here. Possibly footstones, but as close as they are, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it definitely looks that way. These are handmade. Check that out. Dahlia. And this one is Edith. You see how they're written this way? I don't know, there's sometimes these bricks have names on them. I could feel something, but no longer. You see these babies? Their names are written
sideways
like that.
Huh. How weird.
Okay, so I'm gonna come up all the way to the top. It is a steep climb up here. And 1932, 1917. John and Fedora Furnish.
Urn there? There's an urn there?
No. It was this used to have a vase in it that flipped upside down and went inside or came up and locked in place.
Oh.
It has his name on it, and the vase would have had his name on it. This looks like somebody's added this little stone to commemorate someone. This is just a fancier version. See, they have the dates and the name. Often there's an urn placed below something like that, opposed to this sort of a vase, which also, well, it's probably full of pine needles, but they come up and flip upside down so they're not full of the water like that.
1903. Oh. 1 month old. That sucks. 1 month old. 1 month old.
Baby. There's some temporary markers right in a row right here.
You need them. Metal
Oh, but then look, they've got their bronze markers. And then they've got their original temporary markers. 1888.
Well, I like how that,
Those look so good. I wonder if the association found... What?
I like how they're punched like that, punched metal so they'll last forever. Unlike, the ones
you don't think they would be rusted out by now?
We would think so, but...
I was just going to say, it wouldn't surprise me, since these bronze markers are in place, that the association recently found their temporary markers in a storage somewhere. Placed them out here because
Right.
What else are you gonna do?
That's true.
And with these really tiny bronze markers, they're so easy to get lost in the shuffle.
Right.
Having something upright lets the mower know there's something there.
Right. Yeah. You're thinking.
Often when there's only one date, this one has two. This one has one date, Violet Martin. Although, 1927. This one has two dates. It's a baby, 3 years old. Often when there's only one date, it's an infant.
3 years. 3 years.
It's interesting when some of the headstones are pointed the other direction. These are the Morris family too, 1902.
That was Morris right there.
He's a kid.
That was a Morris too.
I know.
That was broken. That was broken.
In here. She doesn't have a final date yet. $1975. I doubt the Candace is still alive, but she doesn't have a date on her marker yet. She may or may not be there. Sometimes there's no family left to pay for the final dates, which is something that patrons of cemeteries can help cemeteries pay for, our final dates, families like that.
There's
Hulda Mason, born in Sweden, 1847 to 1896. Thy memory will be cherished. I wanted to read an excerpt from Peninsula Christensen's obituary. You see her family plot in the background there in the picket fences. It reads, "At the house of Dr. Kennedy, the peace of that Sunday morning, sweet with the breath of full-blown flowers, and the first music of the birds, was made desolate by the broken life that furnishes a sorrowful history on the page of that household. In such a great crisis of life, one kneels in profound loneliness. As the members of the household kneel, the father, the mother, the brothers, and the husband, in the loneliness of the experience of death. All that remain to circle around the hearth are drinking from the same goblet of sorrow, while the wine of joy seems to be on the lips of others. But to them there is a daughter, sister, and wife, hidden in the uncommunicable life beyond. No more will they feel the thrill of her loving life, touch her hands or kiss her lips. She is in the repose of universal rest, and we hope where partings are not underlaid with tears and pain." I just thought that was such beautiful words. They needed to be spoken and remembered.